What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, we're going to break down my trades from the morning. I have to say, I am pretty emotionally activated right now. I'm right on the verge of being in a hijack. I am so frustrated. My last 3 trades in a row, losers, and not small losers either. I'm so annoyed. I actually started this recap and then I stopped it and I took one more trade. So I was doing the recap and it was 2 losers. Then I took one more trade and now it's 3 losers. And I'm still kind of watching charts because I'm just like having this level of frustration. I'm having a really hard time right now pulling myself away from the computer. So here's the deal. Here's what happened. I had a pretty good start to the morning. Well, I say that the first trade of the day was right at 7 a.m. and I made about $1,000. Not bad. Breaking the ice, building a little bit of a cushion. And then it was very slow. And I didn't have another trade until almost 9:15. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, OSRH, a stock that we traded on Wednesday, which was a recent IPO, started to squeeze up. I jumped on that. I made $16,000 on it. And boom, I was within $3,000, $4,000 of the daily goal, which is 20 grand. Now that's the hot market daily goal. I took a couple more trades. I got myself up to about 18,000 on the day. And then things started to unravel. I had one nasty false breakout. Boom, cost me $3,000. Stock drops down. It comes back up. I get back in, lost again. Now I'm down 4,000 on that stock. So I go from 18,000 on the day to 14,000 on the day. And sure enough, that stock squeezes up anyways. It breaks through the level that I was stopping out at, goes to from 350 to 4, all the way up here to 450, and then up to 5. I add back at 5, and it flushes. And I lose $6,000 on the add back, almost $7,000. And now I'm sitting at, well, $6,929.11 on the day, off a high of $18,000. And I feel like an idiot, as I suppose anyone would if they give back 70% of the profit on the day. Now, granted, I shouldn't be complaining too much. It's a green day. Life is good. But it's hard to look at the glass half full when you know you had quite a bit more just an hour earlier. So how did I let MLGO get under my skin so badly? Well, I guess this is a stock that has probably gotten a lot of people pretty frustrated today, and maybe I should be grateful my losses are as tolerable as they are, and I'm still in a place where I could call it a green day, which I'm sure not everyone could. This stock was choppy. High volume red candle, high volume red candle, higher volume rejection, high volume rejection. So why did I even mess around with it? Well, I saw it pre-market and I recognized they had made this big move, but coming into 7 a.m., it had already peaked at 440 and then dropped back down. So I was like, well, it's on the backside of the move. So I didn't, of course, touch it during this area, and I traded other stocks, as you can see, OSRH, NAAS, AIFF. But then at the open, when I was sitting up about 18,000 on the day, I saw this right here, and I thought, this looks like a little flat top breakout here, and if it breaks 350, we could get a nice move up to 4. I had the right idea, but my timing was wrong. And unfortunately, it's not enough just to have the right idea. You've also got to have the right timing. So I end up getting in it first, and I'll show you. And see, this is like adds insult to injury as it goes higher, because now if I was still holding, of course, I wouldn't be red on it. I'd be green. This is where you get emotionally activated. And what do? You jump back in. Now you're back in once again at the top. And oh my gosh, not again, right? See how it happens? I'm sure other traders just did exactly that. All right, so I got in a first trade on it. I got back in, or I took my first trade right here for the breakthrough 350. Bought 25,000 shares, doesn't break. I stop out, I lost $3,000 on it. Okay, that's not so fun. Comes back up again to 350. I get back in, stop out a second time, lost another 1,000. So now I've lost $4,000 on it. And of course, it breaks 350, goes all the way up to 4. I don't trade it. It pulls back. It squeezes back up here to 440. It pulls back. This was our pre-market high, double top. Then it breaks through that. I was sort of watching, didn't trade it. It goes up here, and finally I get in right here for the break of 5. And what happens? It goes to about 515 and then dumps down here to 460, and I lost on it. And here we go. It comes back up. It stops people out, and then it goes back up. And then this stock wants to take your money. And at a certain point, you got to say enough is enough. For whatever reason, this stock is extremely choppy. It's extremely difficult to trade. And I'm sure it's catching shorts, trapping them. They're getting squeezed. Longs are struggling. It's just, look, if you take a position, you lose consciousness for 30 minutes, and then you wake up, you're in a better position than what most of us are trying to do by actively trading it. Because I would have been better off if I'd taken that trade at 350, passed out, and then woke up right now and sold it. Because when you're looking at this chart, it's just not clear. You're getting buy signals and then quick rejections. So for whatever reason, this one's really difficult to trade. And, on my first trade, I lost on it. It's not uncommon to lose on the first trade. Went back for the second one, lost the second time. All right. So at that point, enough is enough. The third trade was capitulation, essentially. I gave in. I gave into FOMO and just punched it at 5, thinking it was going to squeeze into a halt, which was not totally unreasonable, but at the same time, given the price action we'd already seen and my 2 previous losses, it was not worth taking that risk. And I turned an $18,000 day into a $6,900 day, which is not good in general. I don't like doing that at all. I don't like being down $11,000 on one stock. So here's the thing. When I started recording this recap on the first try, I was sitting at $14,000 on the day. I had given back 25%, $4,000 approximately. And I was frustrated, and I was thinking the right thing to do is just to walk away and be done. And then I saw the corner of my eye. I was like, you got to be kidding me. $5? Dang it. I'm going to stop the recap. I'm taking the trade. Lost $6,000, right? Or $7,000, whatever it was. Drops down, of course. And, now it rips back up, and it's like, okay, I should have stopped then. But I didn't hold myself to it. The discipline, I said, I'll take one more trade. And at that point, there were sort of 2 outcomes. I take that one last trade, which was with 16,000 shares, and then I added to 24,000. And the best case scenario, of course, is that the stock would have gone straight up. And how much would I have made on it? Maybe 20 cents. Maybe I could have made $5,000. But the worst case scenario was not just losing money. It was the frustration that would come with it, right? Now I've not only lost more money, I've given back an even bigger percentage of my day, and now I'm even more emotionally activated. And here's now the biggest risk. At this point, I could look at my P&L and say, you know what, who cares? I've already ruined my day. So what's the difference between being, at this point, up 6,900 or being flat, right? And see, now you're saying, screw it. I'm just going to take another trade. And if I lose another 6,000, then I'm flat. My day is already ruined. Because it's so easy for us to feel our day is ruined when we give back half of our profit, because we're left with this emotional disappointment, this feeling of loss. So if I have a feeling of loss, what does it matter if I lost 7,000 or I lost 15,000? Loss is loss. It's a bad feeling. And so when you're already feeling bad, it's easy to do things that'll make you feel bad because you're sort of like get a little immune to it. You're like, well, whatever. I'm already in the red. Who cares? But I'm not in the red. But this is what our mind, this is how we play tricks on ourselves trading, and why trading can be so difficult, because we get into this state of feeling a sense of loss, which is exactly how I feel right now. I feel a sense of loss. And that means I'm not grateful in this moment for the $6,929.11 in my pocket. And I'm sure many of you out there will be like, Ross, I'd be happy to switch places with you today. I'm in the red today, right? I would be happy to take $6,900 off your hands if you can't be grateful for it. And I think that that's helpful to gain that perspective. And you could say the same thing. For wherever you're at, there's someone else out there that's in a worse off spot who would be happy to trade places. So the moment you're feeling this sense of like, well, you know what, at this point, it doesn't even matter because my day's ruined, you need to walk away. You need to pull yourself away from the computer while you still have a chance, because it'd be very easy for me. It would have been very easy to jump back in right here at 508 or 510 for the break through the high, to stop out a second time right here, and to have done it with even bigger size, because now I'm revenge trading, and then jump back in here and maybe make back 10 cents a share, or make nothing because I'm holding for the bigger move, and now stop out a 4th time, a 5th time. At what point do you just give up, right? So I hate giving up. I hate ending the day on a red trade. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good. This is not how I wanted to finish the week. But you know what? I have a choice right now, and it's to be grateful for what I've got, or to keep trading a stock that is just not easy to trade. or I suppose to wait for something else to come along, but statistically that's not likely to happen at this time of the day on a Friday. So I know logically the right thing to do is to walk away. And in fact, I should have walked away $7,000 ago when I was still at 14 grand on the day. That was careless and I lost my discipline. But it's never too late to correct a mistake. So I lost my discipline there, but I can now at this moment say, let's pull it together. That was not smart. Let's be done. You had a close call today. And let's avoid spiraling. Let's avoid having a day go from nearly the daily goal to max loss, because that can happen too. Next thing you know, you're down 5 grand, then you're down 10 grand, 15 grand. I've seen people do it. Heck, I've done it. So this is a very disappointing way to finish the day. But I can also turn that around and say, you know what? Today's a day where you were faced with FOMO. You did give into it, but good for you. You regain composure before you cross the point of no return. Yes, you lost a little more than you'd like, but this is life. Trading is hard. We know that. You stopped while you were still green. That's a success. That's a good day. All things considered, that's pretty good. So now let's go back to the first trade of the day. NAAS. NAAS, this was our leading gainer coming into the 7 a.m. window, and I jumped on this and I made about 5 cents a share on it or something like that. It was a small winner, made $1,000, $1,145. You know, I was hoping it would go higher up to 3, but it stalled out. And after that, it just pulled back. So that was 7 a.m. And then I'm sitting here after 7 a.m., got those trades at 7, and I didn't have another trade. I literally didn't take another trade until 9:26 when I bought OSRH. And I didn't even realize how close to the opening bell we were. But OSRH, this is a stock that we traded on Wednesday, had a big move on Wednesday, and all of a sudden it pops up here just before the open. No news, technical setup, first daily candle to make a new high. For lack of anything else to trade, people jumped on it, and this is the way I traded it. It pops up on the scanner. Someone in the chat room called it out. His name is Sheriff. He said, hey, look at this. OSRH just popped up. I pull it up. It had popped up here. It pulls back. I bought this dip right there. Starter, 10,000 shares. Added 20,000 shares for the break through the high. We get a squeeze on this from 430 all the way up to a high of $5.30. Really nice trade. $16,493 of profit. It pulls back. And, well, I also traded here. So the total profit was on these two trades. So anyways, traded it there. It pulls back and then kind of tries again right here, squeezes up a little bit higher, and I traded this range as well. So this was about 951, and I was, you know, at that point coming up to 18,000 on the day, had a small little scalp on AIFF, and I was like, all right, you know, I'm darn close to that daily goal of 20,000, the hot market daily goal. I'm going to try to, let's see if I can cross the finish line. And so that's when I made that mistake. Well, you know, that's when I took the trade on MLGO and took my first loss on it. Disappointing. But then went back in, second loss. Now I'm a little bit annoyed. I've just gotten kicked in the teeth twice. And then I watch it go without me. And I'm thinking, all right, now it's starting to go parabolic. And nope, lost a third time on it. All right. So flew a little too close to the sun today. But, you know, this is the way it goes. So let's pull back up OSRH. All right. So let's do a pop quiz. All right, so we're going to do a pop quiz for today. OSRH hits the scanners. So all of a sudden, this stock hits the scanner right here. What do you do? The stock hits the scanner. We have a squeeze from 390 up to 440. It's hitting the scanner, boom, boom, boom. We get a little pullback, a micro pullback. What do you do here? Do you buy? Do you do nothing? Do you wait? Here's what I did. I said, if it can break through that high of 440, I'm a buyer. And it broke through that level, and that was my first entry right there at 440 for a break through the high. Max loss, 420. 20 cents of risk, and we got about $1 a share profit. That's a 5-to-1 profit to loss ratio right there. The setup on this was a daily setup, looking for first daily candle to make a new high. Recent IPO squeezed from 250 to 10, pulls back today, bouncing back up. Got a nice little trade on that. That is an acceptable trade. Not perfect, but acceptable. I did see CYN. This one popped up. Didn't trade it. Just couldn't break the ice on it. And at this point, attention is dispersed. It's just not worth it. So this is where I'm at for today. Not a super clean finish, but you know what? That's okay. Life is good. And I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow, or first thing Monday morning. And really the best thing for me to do is not to look at charts for the rest of the day, because it's just not worth getting frustrated. So closing everything down, walking away, and that means I can maintain the green streak. So the green streak is alive. It was close today. Could have lost it if I kept going, but stopping here before any more damage is done. And yes, I'm coming up a little short on my weekly goal, but not by a lot. It was a pretty solid week. So anyway, stay tuned for some great episodes coming this weekend, and I'll be back at it live streaming Monday at 7 a.m. All right, I'll see you guys then. Hey, by the way, reminder, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk, take it slow, and always practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line.